All right, so today we're going to be talking about calculating the area of circles when we're given either the radius or diameter. So remember, when we have a circle, we have some line that can be drawn from the center to the edge of the circle. This is called the radius. If we have the line drawn all the way through the circle and it goes through the center, we call this the diameter. So something to remember is that the radius is always half of the diameter. So here we have a diameter that's 10 units. So our radius is half of that. So if the diameter is 10, the radius is 5. All right, and you can flip that around. If you know the radius is 5, you can multiply it by 2 to get the diameter of 10. So the area formula is pi times the radius squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, so I'm going to look at this first example here. So I have area equals pi times our radius, which is 5 squared. Now, only the radius gets squared. It's not everything. It's just the radius. So I'm going to do 5 squared, and remember that's 5 times 5. So that will give me 25 times pi. And then you're just going to do that multiplication. So you can do 25 times pi or 25 times 3.14. So I'm going to do 25 times pi. And that's going to give me roughly 78.5. All right, and I'll leave that rounded to the nearest tenth. All right, so we're going to use the same process for these next few problems. So again, we already have the radius here. Our radius is 4 on this problem here. So I'm going to plug that into my formula. I have area equals pi times our radius, our 4, squared. Now notice I'm using parentheses here. Remember, parentheses mean multiplication. It also keeps things together, so that's why I'm putting the squared inside the parentheses, because I want to make sure you understand that we're just squaring the radius. We're just squaring that 4. So 4 squared is going to give us 16. And I still have that times pi. So I'm going to go ahead and calculate 16 times pi. And that'll give me about 50.3 rounded. All right, again, you can use 3.14 if you don't have a pi button on your calculator, and that's fine. You'll get roughly the same answer. Now with this next problem, we have a diameter. So see how the line is drawn all the way through the circle. It goes through the center, which is that dot in the middle, goes all the way through. So that's our diameter. But we need the radius for our formula. So we're going to cut that diameter in half. So 24 divided by 2 will give us a radius of 12. And that's what we're going to plug in here. So pi times 12 squared. So remember, we're squaring the 12. So we're not multiplying it by 2, we're squaring it. So 12 squared is 144 times pi. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that. And I'm going to get roughly 452.4. And again, that's a rounded answer. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with this last problem. So I have a diameter of 8.2. And again, I know that because it's drawn all the way through the circle. So our radius is half of that, so that's 4.1. So that means like this part is 4.1, this part is 4.1. We add them together, they'd give us the 8.2. So area equals pi times 4.1 squared. So I'm going to square 4.1 to get 16.81. And I'm going to multiply that by pi. So that'll give me 52.8. All right, so the biggest piece here is remembering that the diameter and the radius are two different things, but they are related. So if you have a diameter, you have to divide it by 2 to get your radius. Then you square that and then multiply it by pi.